Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another day at the circus. That is Chelsea Football Club. There is loads to get into as always. We've got the latest on potentially Chelsea sacking Maurizio Pochettino could bring the club into breach of Premier League spending rules. We have got comparisons with Potter and Pochettino. We've got FFP issues as well, with Chelsea appearing to be in big trouble. As well, which is not an ideal thing to be saying. We've got Matt Law coming out saying that Chelsea have got no plans to make another mid-season managerial change yet, but Poch is under pressure. Tell me something I don't know. Chelsea are going to appoint Todd Keown from Tottenham as a commercial chief officer. And Pochettino is considering a switch to a three-man defence in a desperate bid to salvage the season. Loads to get into. Plus, Frank Lampard has been tipped to be the next Chelsea women's manager. It's all going on. A little bit like a reality show at this club at the moment. The only way is Chelsea, or something like that, whatever it used to be called. Whatever it used to be called back in the day. I can't even fucking remember. But yeah, there's lots to get into, guys. Loads to discuss as always. Clearly, the manager's not going anywhere right now. But we have the same thing with Graham Potter. He was assured that his job was safe until he was sacked in April. So, yeah. Let's wait and see what happens. But big up to everyone that's already locked in, guys. Already 38 people in the building, 25 likes on the board. Let's get this to 50 likes as quickly as possible. Keep smashing that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. All that good stuff. Big up to everyone. Let's say hello to a few people and see what's going on. If results keep getting bad, would sack Pochettino before League Cup final? What I would say on sacking a manager, I've stepped on it a little bit. A bit more rational thoughts now compared to last night. Potentially, I do still stand by a lot of what I said. If you're going to do it, you do it before the League Cup final whilst you've still got something to play for. Like with Graham Potter, sacked him too late. It was pointless. So yeah, if Chelsea are going to make a change, they need to make a change very quickly. And it needs to be in like this week, probably, if they're going to do a change. Because even if you make a change now, how likely is it that a new person is actually going to have any sort of impact on what might happen at Wembley? It's slim to none. No, he's not. No, absolutely not. I've said, I've gone on record many times on various different platforms saying that this is just the tip of the iceberg. If one person's being sacked, multiple people need to be sacked. This is not a singular failing. This is failure on all levels, which needs to be addressed ASAP. Fair enough. What else we got? There's loads going on here, guys. I'll try and get through as many as I can. Yes, big up to Ross coming through with the super sticker, £2. Greatly appreciated, mate. No message on there, but I hope you're well. Big yourself up. It's been confirmed that the current owners can sell the club. No, they can't. It's the whole point was that like when Roman was there, sold it. The anti-Glazer clause was you can't sell it for 10 years, and I still believe that to be the same. Yes, I'm as big a Mish fan as you, but I think in hindsight, the circumstances with him, it may have been better to give him a short loan to get games and build himself up. Yeah, potentially. Like if we're not going to play him, then maybe that's the option that needs to be taken. Maybe that's the option that needs to be taken. I agree, a lot of potential for sure. I don't know if that was. I've seen that video. I don't know if that was a video from last night. Whether that was an old video, I've got no idea. But yeah, obviously, if that's new, it doesn't look great. Yes, of course, players are allowed a social life, but of course, after a bad result, it doesn't look great. But what I would say is the fact that he's been exceptional for us this season it makes it slightly less bad, I'd say. Agreed. I mean, yeah, people were saying that, but unfortunately, that's wasted energy. These lot aren't going anywhere. Yeah, big up. Yes, big up from Kenya, as always. Amos tuned in from Kenya. Big up to all the Chelsea fans out there. Can't sack Poch because it will break FFP. Well, potentially. I'm going to dive into all this. There's so much stuff coming in, people. Why can't another... Yeah, the problem is now, Chelsea are not in a position to get a top manager. We're going to be... Look at the teams in the summer that are going to be looking for managers. Barcelona, probably Bayern Munich. Who else are looking for managers? Barcelona, Munich. There's some other teams, top teams that are looking for managers. Maybe Man United looking for a manager, and there's some Liverpool looking for a manager. Like, whatever we say, we're shopping for scraps now in the managerial candidates. We are. Yes, evening, mate. Hope you're doing well, Wes. I'm from Austria. I wanted to go to a Chelsea game at the Bridge, but I'm not convinced to spend all this money. Yeah, big up from Austria. Yeah, brother, I hear you on that front. Maybe wait till we're a bit better, but I don't know. I don't know how long that's going to be. Or you just take the plunge and you just, enjoy the experience for what it is, even if we're not great. How long will this fiasco take to heal? I've got no idea. The reality now is, though, there's no quick fixes. This is not a quick fix solution. It's not a quick fix solution. Simple as that. Simple as that. But let's dive into it, people. 81 in the building. Run those likes up still, guys. Appreciate each and every single one of you in here. It's 36 likes. Let's get this to 50 as quickly as possible. We should be aiming for another 100 likes tonight. And we should be aiming to hit 7.8k subscribers as well, which is not much to ask for. We've already done it, 7,800. Let's get as many as we can new subscribers, guys. Trying to get to 8k as quickly as possible. 200 to go. But yeah, big up yourselves, everyone. Everyone locked in, big yourselves up. Shame that it's not more positive circumstance. But let's dive into the news then, people. Let's dive into the news. And Daily Mail Sport, not that long ago, exclusive. Chelsea fear sacking Mauricio Pochettino would put them in danger of breaching Premier League spending rules as huge potential payout is revealed. Yeah, that's not ideal. Not ideal. Maybe that's part of the reason they're not doing it, because we spent so much fucking money on managers, on players, on fucking everything. And yet we're in a position where we need to raise cash very, very quickly. We need to raise cash fast, and sacking a manager would be another 10 or so million out the door, which we don't need. Right, let's have a look then. Chelsea are concerned that sacking Poch could put them in danger of breaching Premier League spending rules, with the club's precarious financial situation emerging as a significant factor as they consider whether to make a change. Poch has got around 18 months left on his contract at the Bridge, and dismissing him and his large backroom team would cost Chelsea in excess of 10 million. Any payoff agreed before June would count towards the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules this season, which Chelsea are already battling to avoid breaching after spending over $1 billion on new players. Independent finance experts have estimated that Chelsea need to raise tens of millions from player sales by the end of June to avoid being charged for breaching spending limits, an issue exacerbated by their failed attempts at selling homegrown players such as Amanda Broya in last month's window. Clubs are currently allowed to lose a maximum of 105 million over a 3-year period, though there are certain exemptions such as spending on infrastructure, women's football, and investment in youth. Compensation packages following managerial sackings are not excused, however, with Pochettino. While Pochettino boasts a large backroom staff, having arrived in the summer with Jesus Perez, Miguel D'Agostini, Tony Jimenez, and his son Sebastian. Chelsea's new ownership have already spent huge sums on sacking managers since buying the club, with Tuchel collecting 10 million when he was sacked 4 months later, and Graham Potter due 13 million in compensation. Chelsea are already in concerning position with profit and sustainability, and were willing to offload Broya, Gallagher, and Chalobah for the right price in January, as homegrown players represent pure profit in PSR terms. Poch signed a 2-year contract with an option to extend by 12 months when he took over in the summer, though Chelsea supporters could be heard singing Mourinho's name during the 4-2 defeat by Wolves. Chelsea had hoped their transfer business would lead to Champions League football. Yeah, this is part of the problem. Delusional ambitions. Hope that we would lead to Champions League football, which would provide a major financial boost. But Sunday's loss left them in the bottom half of the table. The winners of the FA Cup qualify for the Europa League. Chelsea travel to Villa in a 4th-round replay this week, while beating Liverpool in the Carabao Cup would secure a spot in the Conference League. Chelsea confirmed that Pochettino will take today's press conference. Chelsea confirmed that Pochettino will take tomorrow's press conference ahead of the trip to Villa Park. Now, there's loads to dive into there, people. The fact of the matter is that we had delusional ambitions, guys. Delusional ambitions, thinking that this squad was good enough for the Premier League to get into the top 4. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy what's going on here. First move to get a football brain on the board, then sack the 2 goons directors, then change the project. I'll be honest, mate. The project's not going to change. I'm convinced the project's not going to change. And ultimately, multiple heads need to roll. There's no point sacking the manager if you don't sack the directors. But the fact is, the directors probably aren't going to push for the sacking because it's them that appointed him, and they realise if they push for the sacking, that their jobs are they're going to be on the scrap heap as well. So there's a problem. There is a major issue there that people are probably trying to save their own skin and going for political decisions. It's look, the fact of the matter is that we spent recklessly. We massively overestimated how good people thought that ownership massively overestimated how good they thought this team would be. Perhaps didn't understand how difficult it is to build a team in the Premier League with the way that the squad's been built. We were banking on that Champions League money, and there's a high chance that we could go back-to-back seasons without making Europe, which would leave us in a massive, massive hole financially, a huge hole financially. And it's not just that. If I stop sharing this one here and bring up another one, which is showing that, according to estimations, you're only allowed to lose 105 million over a 3-year period. But according to Swiss Ramble, who are very reliable kind of FFP like football finance guys, it's like we are Chelsea for 23-24 FFP, though Chelsea would appear to be in big trouble, with Swiss Ramble estimating their losses at 201 million. You're only allowed to lose 105 million over a 3-year period. And that was on an assumption they would finish 6th, which now looks extremely optimistic. Oh, fucking hell. I didn't realise. I mean, fuck. This is problems. This is absolute. This could be big problems for us. The fact that we've not been able to sell any players. Look, I know we've sold a lot of players in the summer, but the likes of your Chalobahs, your Martsons, your Broyers, etc., that we were hoping to offload in January, like we didn't get any money for any of them. Didn't get any money for any of them. Let's dive into this a little bit more. Get rid of that. So you don't see much of Todd Boehly these days. In the first weeks after he fronted, we all know that there'd been a thought around the turn of the year that things might be falling into place for Chelsea. That they reached the Carabao Cup final and won the 3 league games in a row to haul themselves into the top half of the table. The problems go far deeper than results. In the short term, Chelsea's activities since the Boehly Clear Lake takeover are not a problem. The football finance expert Swiss Ramble noted in August that the transfer activity since the takeover was exactly neutral, with 143 million in wages plus 116 million in amortization from purchases offset by 192 million pound reduction in wages and 62 million in amortization from sales. Even better, there was a 215 million pound profit in terms of player sales. All sounds good, right? Which looks excellent in the short term, but Chelsea's signings have committed them to 1.9 billion pounds of future spending. And this is a club that has posted operating losses in each of the last 10 seasons, a picture that has been getting worse in the past 4 years. In 21-22, operating losses were 224 million, bringing total losses over the last decade to 944 million. That has to an extent been balanced by 706 million in player sales. Taking into account the reduction in wage bill and projecting other income and outgoings for this season, Swiss Ramble have calculated estimated losses of 131.6 million for 23-24 to go with 70.2 million last season and 121.4 million the season before that. There are allowable deductions for healthy spending, such as that on the academy and women's team, which can be estimated at 40 million or so a season, which, when the extra allowances for losses in the COVID season are taken into account, kept Chelsea just above the threshold of 105 million in losses for the 3-year period up to 22-23. The 23-24, though, they would appear to be in big trouble, with Swiss Ramble estimating their losses for the 3-year assessment period at 201 million. And that was on an assumption they would finish 6th, which now looks extremely optimistic. We have got a lot of money that we need to somehow raise. And I'll be honest, the way that these players are playing, like we're not going to get much money for these guys. We're not going to get much money for these guys. That much is absolutely clear. It goes on. The article goes on to say Chelsea UEFA regulations are not immediately relevant, but it is changing its FFP model to a cost control ratio by which player wages, transfers, and agent fees will by 2025 be limited to 70% of revenue and profits on player sales. At the moment, Chelsea is around 90%. We're already being investigated for possible historical breaches of FFP in the Abramovich era, which could lead to points deductions or worse, that would make their job even harder going forward. They just about kept their heads above water in the 3-year period to last June, but that was with exceptional sales. They don't have many academy products or fully amortized players left. Say they sold Moises Caicedo next summer for the 100 million they paid for him. Yes, they would reduce costs from his amortization and wages, but his 8-year contract means the profit would only be 100 million minus his book value, which with 7 or 8 years of his contract remaining would be 87.5 million. So basically, if we sold Caicedo for 100 million, we're actually only making 12.5 million pounds profit. To keep making that the sort of profits that have sustained them over the past decade will be extremely difficult. Those academy products who remain, the likes of Gallagher and Reece James, are likely to find the owners extremely eager to listen to offers. And of course, that this is the reverse of standard footballing wisdom, that clubs benefit from having a core of players brought up in the ways of the club, the John Terry and Frank Lampard figures who have an attachment to the institution that goes beyond salary. Perhaps Chelsea will be granted additional dispensation for losses suffered after the sanctions were imposed on Abramovich, although there are no guarantees. But with the likelihood of no Champions League football, it's hard to see how revenues will rise significantly next season. With 12 players on contracts of 8 years or more, the amortization trick looks increasingly like an albatross. This is a club in a terrible mess, and the only people who can really be blamed are the disruptive new owners. I think that pretty much sums everything up perfectly. I'll be honest. I was thinking, yeah, we found a bit of a loophole here in terms of, you know, the contracts and all that sort of thing. But actually, without the European football and that revenue coming in, we're fucked. Like that is a big problem. That is a large stint. That is a large stint of our potential revenue gone. The owners were banking on us getting Champions League football. The concerning thing is that they thought this team was ready to qualify for the Champions League. That for me is a massive problem. Like, how can you look at that team and the way that the squad's been put together and come to the conclusion that actually, yeah, this is ready to go. This is ready to qualify. Like, it's beyond clueless. It is beyond clueless. I think anyone would have looked at that team and thought talented players, but they would have looked at it and thought, okay, huge job. This team not ready to compete. Right now, what Chelsea need to do is, we're a mid-table side. We need to focus on getting back to being a top 4, top 6 side. That's got to be our first point. Fucking forget your 100-point team that you think you're building. You're not building a 100-point team. Maybe by project 2030, we might be able to get to 100 points. But we've got to focus on becoming a top 4, top 6 side again. Right now, we're a mid-table side. We've got to get to being a top 4 or top 6 side again regularly before we even start and think about moving any further on. There's so many things coming in. Guys, try not to spam the chat if it's the same message loads of times. Why is the club being silent about Lavia? I don't know. Guys, there's so many things coming in. I'm not going to be able to read all of this stuff. Turning our club into a franchise. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Felix and Max seems, yeah, I'll have a look, mate. The problem with our football club now is that everyone seems to be like lost visitors in Jerusalem. They have just chased everyone and bring guys who are never Chelsea fans. What else have we got going on? Yes. Big up to Carlos for the donation. Big up, brother. Win or lose, up the Chelsea. Always, you know. Yeah, things are tough right now, but win or lose, always up the Chelsea. Always. Things will get better, guys. I don't know when, and they're pretty tough right now, and there's a lot to be critical of. Absolutely. And I like to think that, you know, I'm reasonable and I kind of say it how it is and how I see it. If people agree, they agree. If they don't, they don't. It's fine. Football's a game of opinions, but ultimately, we all want the best for Chelsea going forwards. We're 15 points off Champions League. Yeah, brother, Champions League is gone. Guys, over 200 in the building. Keep smashing that like button. 65 likes. This should be on 100 likes as quickly as possible. Come on, guys. Run it up. 200 in the building, 66 likes. We can do better than that. Let's get this to 100 and subscribe if you're new round here as well. Get some decent players instead of mid. I think what we need more established players. Like, there's too many players that could be good in a few years' time. There's not enough players that are reliable and not enough players that can be good right now. And that is a massive problem. I think the spam's gone now. 100-point team would take us 3 seasons. That's being generous. I'll be surprised if we've even collected 100 points in our last 3 seasons in total. I wonder if we've collected 100 points. Who knows? Who knows? I saw your interview after the game. You made the most sense and logic. We're in a complicated situation. No, I appreciate it. I was just saying it how I think it is. Yeah, this is multifaceted. This issue, multifaceted, and it runs from top to bottom. It runs from top to bottom. But the sole reason we are in the mess we are in stems from the ownership. I'm not saying that the manager's blameless. He's not. But the whole reason we're in the position that we're in is because of the way that the ownership have been acting since they came in. That is why we're in the mess that we're in, because of the route they've chosen to go down, because of the changes that they've made, because of the appointments that they've made. This ultimately all stems from the top. And until there's change at the top, and it's not going to be personnel at the top, but until there's a change in tact, a change in sort of way we're going to go about things, very little is going to change at this football club, unfortunately. Very, very little. Do runners-up qualify for Europe in the Cup, knowing Liverpool will be in the Champions League? I don't know the exact rules, but maybe it is something along those lines. I don't know for certain. I'll be honest, mate. No, I don't think that. But stranger things have happened in football. Stranger things have happened. But no, right now it's going to be a big problem. I can't see us getting anything. The only 100 we'll get is yellow cards. Fair, very true. It's an understanding as a manager's fault. The players don't look like they want to play for the club. It's also their fault for losing games. Yeah, look, ultimately the players are the ones out on the pitch playing. So yeah, if they don't perform, that is obviously on them. But it is also on the manager as well. Also on the manager. There's no denying that. We'll have more relegations. We're not going to get relegated or anything, but yeah, it's not looking great. It's not looking great, but it's nothing that can't be salvaged. It's nothing that can't be salvaged. That is what I would say. This is salvageable. Why didn't we keep Fofana? He scored 2 goals for Burnley, so arguably he also has to score at Chelsea. I don't know about that, but what I would say, right, and it's all very well kind of having the revisionism on Fofana, but imagine the uproar there would have been, right, if the club had said that, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to keep Datro Fofana as a solution to our goal-scoring problems. People would have been fuming about that. They would have been saying, it lacked ambition. It was a poor move and whatnot. That's what people would have been saying. This is just the club trying to make fans believe sacking Poch can't happen. It can happen, but a lot of other things need to happen as well. Yeah, to be honest, if the manager goes, they need to go as well. Simple as that. Because if the manager goes and they don't go, then it's pointless. It is utterly pointless if they stay. Clear Lake has a lot to answer for. The only option for now is for sale, the academy players and homegrown players. Yeah, that's ultimately what we're going to have to do, because we're not going to get the money from the Champions League, and the academy players are our most profitable players, and they obviously represent pure profit in terms of the Premier League sustainability rule, the profit and sustainability rule. So yeah, ultimately the academy players are going to be sacrificed until we get ourselves out of this mess. So I would expect all of them to leave in the summer. Your Chalobahs, your Martsons, your Broja, and your Conor Gallagher, because whether we want them to go or not, we need the money. We need the money, and otherwise we are well and truly finished. Well and truly finished. Protests won't do anything. Yeah, right now we do. Yeah, too many average players right now. Potential to be good. Some of them might never reach their potential. That's the sad reality. Some of them may never reach their potential. All these kids spent millions on to be loaned out. There's the FFP. Yeah, it's a problem. No, there's no privileges. I won a competition to go there. There's absolutely no privileges for me. No privileges at all. I'm just a fan. I say it how it is, how I think it is. No, I've got no relationship with the club in any personal or professional way at all. I won a competition to go to the training ground, and yeah, obviously nobody knew who I was, which is fine. So yeah, I think we need Benzema for now. Oh well, Benzema's not coming because the window's closed. We spent too much money on players, and that's the problem. I think if we lose to Villa and Palace, he has to go. Yeah, I think, to be honest, the writing's on the wall. To be honest, I just feel like the inevitable is being delayed. Whether it happens this week or whether it happens at the end of the season, the likelihood is that Pochettino is not going to be Chelsea manager next season. That for me is simple. Yeah, no, big up. Be there Wednesday night at Villa Park. It's gonna be a difficult day. Gonna be a difficult evening for us. But maybe we can do something. They're not being honest about our financial situation. No, I don't think they are. Guys, there's so much coming in. No, they will be sold. I don't know how much money we'll get for them, but they will be sold. Quite possibly in a few years' time. No, we're not finished, but we're heading in that. We are heading in that direction. We're not finished, but it's a long road back, and this is not a quick fix. And I just don't think they're prepared to change. There we go. Cole Palmer will move to a bigger club soon. I don't know about that, guys. I can't read all these guys. There's so much coming in. Keep smashing the likes. Have we reached 100 likes yet? 199 in the building, 92 likes. Let's get this to 100 likes as quickly as possible. And guys, keep subscribing to the channel. If you are new round here, we need to add a few more subscribers. Let's get this to 7,810. We need 7 more subscribers to reach that. There's 207 in the building. There's definitely people that aren't subscribed. There's 100% there are people that aren't subscribed. So please do subscribe to the channel, and please do smash that like button as well. Let's get this to 100. If you guys don't like the video, then Reece James will be sold. Well, he's going to be sold to Madrid anyway. But yeah, please do smash the likes. If he doesn't want to get sacked, he needs to prove us wrong and win games. I guess we thought he was the right manager for us. I think he was the right manager for us in terms of the fact that, for where we are right now in this phase of the project, and where we are in terms of, young squad, Pochettino's track record of developing youngsters, it kind of felt like the right fit for where we are. I do have some. Yeah, I don't normally buy a program. I either get given it, or if I sit in a hospitality or something on the odd occasion, then they're free in there. So yeah, I do have a few, and I don't think we will ever truly be finished. No, probably not. I think we should just let Poch lead us in the Carabao Cup final. If we lose, leave him at Wembley. Yeah, maybe that would be a good plan. Maybe that would be a good plan. When we go Manchester City away, we're going to get battered. I don't even want to think about that. Don't even want to think about City away. We'll probably win the next 2 or 3 and then lose another 2. It's just the process. Yeah, it's the way that the team's been put together is lends itself to being like that. Having some awful performances, follow it up with a couple of half decent ones, and then have a few more shit ones. That's realistically how it's going to be until we get more reliable players in this squad. Once again, Poch and his tactics were crazy. How did Gallagher not get benched? Yeah, I fully agree. To be fair, we could do a lot worse than Lukaku in the team next season. I'll tell you that. We could do a lot worse. Even though he's obviously, acted in a disgraceful manner towards the club, he would certainly score a few goals, but he doesn't want to be here. Anyway, let's move away from the FFP stuff, because obviously we are in big trouble with FFP, and we have got here that Chelsea have no plans to make another mid-season managerial change yet, but Pochettino is under pressure. One source revealing to Matt Law, one source said it's a couple of bad results after a positive month. There is understanding at the top of Chelsea that Pochettino has been hampered by a huge injury list to key players, and that progress did seem to be being made before 2 bad results. Yes, true. Yes, I suppose true to a degree, but I mean, look, positive results in terms of winning are absolutely. But I mean, you look at it and you think, right, okay, Crystal Palace, we won with a last minute penalty. We beat Luton 3-2, but we nearly threw that away. Obviously, we smashed Preston 4-0. We lost to Middlesbrough 1-0 in the first leg. Terrible performance. Fulham, we scraped by with a penalty. Yep, we smashed Middlesbrough 6-1, and then we drew 0-0 with Villa. Positive results must mean in terms of wins, because there wasn't too much else positive about what we were seeing. But I don't know. Like, is this? I don't know. They're just saying this to save face or what it is. But yeah, it is a problem. It is an issue. Like, yes, okay. It's only 2 bad results in the grand scheme of things, but it's not just the results. It's been the manner of these results as well. Like, it's not like we're convincingly, beating anyone. We're not convincingly beating anyone whatsoever, and that in itself is a big issue. Is a big issue. Look, if we want to grind out results, that's fine. I'm more than however we get the results. I'm more than happy to do that. But obviously, let's not try and dress it up as, it's just a couple of bad results, as if we're doing really well and we've just lost a couple of games. The reality is we're 11th in the table. Yes, okay, on paper it's a couple of bad results, but we're 11th in the table. And it's not just bad results. It was the lack of application, the fact that we just didn't turn up, the fact that we just outclassed second best in absolutely everything. That for me is the big problem. One game we've played well this season. I thought there's not many, but first game of the season against Liverpool, I thought we were decent. I thought we were very good against Man City in the 4-4. I thought we were good against Tottenham when we won 4-1. I thought we played well against Arsenal despite not winning for 85 minutes. I thought we were very good against Arsenal. But yeah, there's not been many. There hasn't been many games where we've been good and where we've looked all right. That's just the reality, guys. There haven't been that many of them. I would have expected more. I would have expected more of a tactical identity, more of a game plan. Like, I look at this Chelsea team and I just think no one knows what to do. No one understands what's being asked of them. And it's a problem. Don't understand why we have to sell academy talent. We have so much dead wood out on loan we can sell. Yeah, but it's not pure profit. Players that come through the academy represent pure profit on the books, whereas other players that don't come from the academy simply don't. So it's much better for the books to have to obviously have to obviously sell those academy players. That's the reality. We're back where we started last season. If Sterling had scored and Jackson hit the onion bag, this argument wouldn't be going on. Or I don't think we would have won that game, but maybe it wouldn't have been. I still think it would be, but maybe not as big as it currently is right now. Not one player has improved under Pochettino. Yeah, no, and this is a major problem for him, right? I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I would have expected them all to have improved, but the fact that you could say maybe one in Gallagher at best, maybe a couple if you're really pushing it, but no players have shown any sign of noticeable improvement under him, and that's not a structural issue. That's nothing to do with the sporting directors. That one is solely on the manager. That's solely on the manager. The fact that not enough players have improved at a quick enough rate. That's on one person and one person only. The manager. That is it. I thought with this manager we'd be like top 3 or top 3rd with him because of the way we played us. I thought we would do really well with him. I just think people, myself included, I think we just massively underestimated how difficult it would be to get this team to gel with all these new young players. I think myself included, we just saw the names coming in and thought, this will be great, rather than actually thinking of the reality of how to put a team together. That for me is the biggest problem. That is absolutely the biggest problem. I mean, I don't know where I'm at. I'm sort of on the fence. Look, ultimately, the writing's on the wall, and he will go at the end of the season. I think that much is clear. He's lost the fans, and this is just like sort of walking the plank, and he's just waiting to fall off the end. It's not when, it's if now. I think his time is done. I think everyone knows that his time is done. It just depends when it's going to be. But What I would say on that, and there's just a few rational thoughts, not very controversial, but as I was saying, feels inevitable that he's not going to be in charge next season. As I was saying, there's no trust from the fans towards the manager, the players, the directors, or the owners. Results may improve, but it's already too late for Pochettino now. The faith has been lost. It feels similar to like what it felt like towards the end of Maurizio Sarri's season in charge. A best case scenario for us is we don't get embarrassed in the Carabao Cup final, and we go on a deepish run in the FA Cup, and then we part ways on amicable terms in the summer. Worst case scenario is we lose to Villa, we get hammered by City, and we get battered at Wembley. I'm telling you now, an interim manager cannot be the answer. It cannot be the answer. It would be highly humiliating and embarrassing to be going down an interim manager route for the second time in consecutive seasons. We simply cannot do that. We simply cannot do that. We can't go down an interim manager route again. That is not allowed to happen. Things are so toxic that even if we were to beat Villa, it extends the season a little bit, but ultimately, guys, it doesn't change the overall picture here. The next defeat could come after 5 or 6 wins, and there would still be calls for the manager to go. The team needs solidifying. The back three, as I've been calling for on this channel, as I said after the game on Chelsea Fan TV yesterday, the back three is worth a go. We're leaking goals left, right, and centre. We need some more solidity. It will get more out of the fullbacks, I feel. It's got to be worth a go. It's got to be worth a go. The biggest thing here is most seem to want him gone now. And I've said that in the heat of the moment, but I simply do not see any benefit, short or long term, to doing that. There's no manager inside the top 10 on any shortlist that would be available now. And an interim for a second year running, as I said, is absolutely shambolic. An interim would be shambolic to go down again. So whatever happens now, we have to somehow get to the end of the season with this manager, because going down an interim route again is shambolic, highly embarrassing, and doesn't do us any favours whatsoever in the long run. Does us zero favours in the long run having another interim manager. No, I saw that. Mudryk, I would agree. Mudryk starting against Villa, but I doubt that happens. He needs to go and take sporting directors with him. I don't buy this FFP thing is the reason not to sack him. I think, look, financially we are in trouble. I don't know whether we're in trouble to that degree. I'm really not sure if that's the reason we're looking to save face. I don't know. Yep, I agree. Until the sporting directors go, the manager should stay in place, because ultimately, how can they were the ones that carried out a thorough and extensive process to appoint Pochettino. And if after 6 or 7 months that's decided that it's wrong, then their heads must roll and they must go as well. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's not even a debate. They must go as well. If that is the case, guys, 115 likes. Let's try and get this up to 150 likes if possible. Still 181 in the building. Big numbers to kick the week off, people. Big numbers to kick the week off. What else have we got going on here in the chats? Let's see. So fucking angry at these owners. Hellfire coming their way. Fans won't stand back and let this happen. No, there'll be 6,000 or 7,000 going up to Aston Villa on Wednesday night, myself included. And that's going to be like the away support are not shy. If we lose again, that's going to be a big problem. No, I don't think anyone's confident about Villa on Wednesday. We are already embarrassing. If Poch had an ounce of respect for this club, he'd resign. At this point, any manager would do better than this. Look, I don't buy that any manager would do better, because I don't think that's the case. But we've got a problem in terms of if we do replace the manager. Then it's like, who do you get? Who do you get that's going to come? As I was saying at the top of the show, we are shopping for second-rate managers now. We're not shopping at the top table for managers. When Bayern Munich, most likely, when Barcelona, when Liverpool, when possibly Man United, to name top 4 big clubs looking for a new manager, potentially. We are not going to be competing with those guys. We're going to get the cast-offs, the ones that aren't successful there. Like, we're not going to get an elite level manager. That is the reality of the situation. We are not getting an elite manager. So the sooner people prepare themselves for that and realize that we're just going to get another project manager, then like we're not going to get a top level manager that people are calling for. Of course, there's managers out there, but we're not going to get the caliber of manager that people feel that we need to move this club forward. It will just be another project manager. That is the reality of the situation, guys. And the sooner people realize that, then the easier it will be for them. Chelsea need to hire Hasselbank as a striker coach. I don't think that's going to make an awful lot of difference to us on the pitch. It might help a little bit, but I think that's probably the least of our problems, I would say. The least of our problems. What else have we got going on? Pochettino's ex-Spurs and fans can't look past that. Steve Cooper, ex-Forest's experience of youth players. I think he's going to go to Crystal Palace, I think. But to be fair, Chelsea Palace next Monday could be a little bit of an El Sacco. If Roy Hodgson's still there, if Poch is still there, I think whoever loses that, it could be the sack. So, yeah, it could definitely be an El Sacco next Monday night at Selhurst Park. No denying it. I do not recognise my club. Yeah, it's hard to. I don't know if he does. I've met Egbali several times outside Stamford Bridge, but I've not seen him with a handbag. Yes, evening, big up. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe we'd be a bit more defensively solid if we had Big Sam, but yeah, the way Egbali going, he'll leave it. Yeah, Egbali. I don't know what's going on, guys. There's so much stuff coming in the chat. I can't read it all. Let's get into this then. Let's get into this. Thoughts on Poch changing to a back three? Because it's interesting. You know, I've been calling it not for a while, but like certainly in recent weeks. What this fucks me off. Why are we getting this again? I'm going to get to this. Like I tweeted this earlier, about, you know, how we were told about, you know, Christopher Nkunku's return is going to transform the season, and it hasn't, you know. And now we've got Ben Jacobs saying, big up to Ben Jacobs, by the way, does great work. The hope is that Christopher Nkunku's return from injury, Ben Chilwell being back, Conor Gallagher being settled until at least the summer, and Nicholas Jackson returning from AFCON can all help bring stability and a strong finish to the season. Are we... is this... I mean, seriously, who's briefing this shit? Do they think we're idiots or something? Do they honestly think we're stupid? Because why is that? How is that helping us? We've had Gallagher all season and it hasn't helped us. All right, yeah, okay, and Nkunku's return from injury is a big plus for us, but he's not going to be able to do it all on his own. And then Gallagher's faded recently. He started the season very well. I'll give him that, but he's faded. I'm just like, what is this? Like, how is this stuff being briefed and it's coming out that, you know, Nkunku being back, Chilwell being back, and then Gallagher being settled and Jackson returning from AFCON, and suddenly everything's all right and we're going to be saved. We've had all these players for most of the season, obviously, bar maybe Chilwell and Nkunku. Like, that, how is that helping us? I don't get it. How on earth is that helping us? Can somebody please tell me how that's helping us? Because I'm struggling to understand. Why I've never seen so much hope be pinned on one player as in Nkunku. It's like it's the second coming of Messi returning. Like, I don't get it. You know, how are they briefing like a few months ago that, you know, Nkunku coming back was going to save the season, and now they're briefing it again. This time along with Chilwell, Gallagher, and Jackson returning from fucking AFCON. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it at all. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the solution is, but I'm lost here. I'm just completely lost. Like, what is going on here with all this stuff? Like, it's madness. It is utter madness what's going on right now. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say on this one. I really don't. Yeah, no, it's a strange one. Yeah, baffling, absolutely baffling. That it really is. I'm lost here. As if we're just going to lap that up, are we? We're going to have certain fans that will just lap that up and think, oh yeah, it'll all be fine. This is not going to help us. This is not helping us. Yeah, okay, it will make things a little bit better for us. It's not going to help us. Like, it's not. The back. It's mad. It's mad, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they do at the moment, and that's because of the setup right now. That is because of one thing and one thing only: the setup. That's where we're at right now. The setup's poor. The setup is poor, people. Chilwell, no, he's not. He's had 2 awful games back to back now. Gallagher should just be a defensive super sub. I agree. Said it a long time ago, and people were saying Nkunku coming back was going to give Chelsea goals and wins. Yeah, it's given us a couple goals, but yeah, it's certainly not helped us win any games. All this PR for the investors. This is crazy. Yep. Was he? I didn't see that. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. I think. Look, the reality is, like, we just got to call it out for what it is right now. And ultimately, there are many reasons we're in this mess, but the number one reason we're in the mess stems from the top and the decisions that they've made. It is as simple as that. It all stems from the top while we're in this mess. Doesn't mean that people lower down aren't accountable, directors, manager, etc. They are. But all of this stems from one place and one place only. And it stems from the very top. And that is why we are in the trouble that we're in. I guess they think Nkunku and Jackson had good chemistry in pre-season. On a gas, Chilwell knows what it means to be Chilwell. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just taking us for idiots as fans. It's taking us for idiots. It really is. Nkunku played 60 minutes for Chelsea this season. He's played a bit more than that. The whole squad has to push themselves to the limit. They walk around with their heads down. Well, yeah, but when you're on 8-year contracts, like, where's the incentive to want to push yourself? Like, it's going to be hard to shift you. Where's that incentive? Where's that incentive to do well? I don't know. I don't know where it is. There's problems all stem from the top. We fucked ourselves with these contracts we've given to average players. Look, I don't think these guys are average players, but they're not ready to perform at the top level right now. That for me is the biggest issue. That right now is absolutely the biggest issue, that they're not ready to perform at the top level. That is the reality of the situation right now. That is why we're struggling so much, because they're not ready to perform at the top level, and we need them to perform at the top level. And they're not capable of doing that right now. They simply aren't capable. And Nkunku is a good player, but being compared to Messi, yeah, I know. I wasn't saying he is, by the way. I was just using it as an example of the way things are being spoken about. Yeah, maybe we'll have to get him in. Been saying the back 3 works to the players we have. I do agree on that. I swear we're moving backwards, bro. Tuchel already solved our defensive problems 3-4-3. Yeah, well, look, ultimately, if Thiago Silva's going to play, then he needs to be in a 3, because he's being exposed in a 4 now. Being exposed in a 4. So, yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day, isn't it? We need to switch to that 3. But this has irritated me, because it's just taking us for mugs. It's taking us for mugs, that, that's going to stable us. That isn't going to stable us. It's not going to stable us. So stop taking us for idiots. Stop taking us for idiots. Has Jackson become world class behind my back? No, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. I like Nicholas Jackson. I think he's a decent player, but to say that him returning is going to bring stability and a strong finish to the season is putting unfair pressure on a young kid. It's just outrageous. It's outrageous. By the way, guys, still 153 in the building, 129 likes. Let's get this to 150 likes, maybe even push 200. Keep smashing the like button, guys. It's free. And please keep subscribing to the channel as well. I'm trying to hit 8,000 subscribers as quickly as possible. We aren't a million miles away now. It is 190 subscribers away now. Let's try and chalk them off. Anyone in here now? 159 of you. there's surely a few of you in here that haven't subscribed. Please do subscribe to the channel. It's free, and help me get to 8K. It would be greatly appreciated, and I would continue on the road to 10,000 subscribers. What else we got going on here? Poch playing Caicedo further back than Disasi. I don't know what's going on. Championship manager in the summer, we might do better. Maybe. I hope Chelsea. I don't know what's going to happen. I'd like to think not, but you just never know. If we don't get the revenue we need from European football, then it's gonna be long for us. It could be long for us. The top sets the standards and all. Yeah, the top does set the standards, and right now the standard being set at the top and the direction that's being set out is just causing chaos, causing absolute chaos. Why did Jackson go AFCON? I mean, he did play. He didn't start many games, but he did play. He did play for Senegal, but he doesn't start for them. Problems from the top. If we get a points deduction, we're getting relegated. We won't get a points deduction this season. We've not been found guilty of anything. We've not been charged of anything. They're just investigating. So, there's nothing to worry about at this point in time. Yeah, guys, there's so much stuff coming in. I'll try and read as much as I can. Let's talk about the switch to the back three. Let's talk about the switch to the back three. Where is it? Is it that? Yeah, this is it here. Mauricio Pochettino is considering a switch to a three-man defence in a desperate bid to salvage Chelsea's season. He shouldn't be considering it. He should just be doing it. Because right now, continuing with this back four, when it's not working, we've conceded more goals than we've bloody scored this season. That is the change needs to happen. The change needs to happen. So we might as well just get on with it. We may as well just get on with the change. Because it's a massive, massive problem. Massive, massive problem. What's the article saying here? Let's have a look. Pochettino is considering a switch to a three-man defence in a desperate bid to salvage Chelsea's season. Poch is under increased pressure after Sunday's 4-2 home defeat by Wolves. Chelsea were booed off the pitch, and Poch admitted nobody's safe at Stamford Bridge. With Chelsea languishing in 11th place and another season in danger of petering out, Poch is weighing up a move away from his favoured 4-2-3-1. It is felt that a three-man defence could provide greater defensive solidity to a team that has conceded 4 goals in successive Premier League defeats. Yeah, could provide greater defensive solidity. It will provide greater defensive solidity. The system change would also offer more protection to veteran defender Silva, who was left badly exposed as Wolves ran riot, and struggling midfield duo Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, both under 6 foot tall, are being dominated physically and would also get more cover with an extra defender behind them. True. Silva, Levi Colwill, Benoit Badiashile, Axel Disasi and Trevor Chalobah all have experience of playing in a three-man defence. Poch has experience of playing a 3-4-3 at Tottenham. He could also use a 3-5-2, and either system would also give Chilwell and Gusto more licence to go forward as wing-backs rather than full-backs. Chelsea have excelled with a three-man defence in the past, winning the league under Conte in 2017 and the Champions League under Tuchel in 2021 whilst using the system. Potter and Lampard also used the formation to less success. Poch hinted that changes were needed after Chelsea were blown away by Wolves. We can't give up and we're going to work hard to try and change. Maybe take some decisions to find a different way, he said. If it is not working this way, we need to move on and try to find a different type of solution. If Poch does make a change, it would be a departure from his favoured four-man defence, which is used for most of his managerial career. But a drastic change is needed ahead of a difficult run of matches. So yeah, Chelsea targeted Champions League qualification before the season started, but Wolves' defeat mean they're now 15 points behind the top 4. Yeah, look, for me, we need to see the back three against Aston Villa. That's what we should be working with on the training ground at the moment. We should be doing that. The back three needs to happen. We're leaking goals all over the gaff. We need to bring the back three in. Simple as that. The back three needs to come in. It's time for the back three. Yes, I know it feels like we're regressing. We wanted to move away from a back three. But right now, with how we're playing, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, and we need to switch to that back three. Give us more defensive solidity. Yes, obviously going further forward, it means Nkunku has to either play at a 9 or he has to play on the left or whatever it is. But yeah, it's and then Mudryk might make a better wing back than a winger. Who knows? I don't think so. Can you do a back three squad builder? Yeah, let's have a quick look. Let me just hypothesize what a potential back three might look like. Let's just have a quick look what a back three might look like. I'd go 3-4-3. Let's just have a quick look with what we've got available. I'll bring it up on the screen in a sec, guys. All right, let's just have a quick look at what a 3-4-3 might look like, or 3-5-3 or whatever. He needs coaching. He needs coaching. Yeah, of course, his football IQ does need to massively improve, of course. But yeah, he just needs coaching. It's as simple as that. He needs coaching, needs support, needs confidence. I believe in him. But yeah, he's certainly not playing that well at the moment. There's no denying it. Most of the players know they are safe with multi-year contracts. That's another problem. You know your job's on the line when you revert to a back three. Potentially, yes. Lavia seems like Lavia, I think, will make a massive difference to this team, but obviously he's not available right now. So, yeah, that's the reality of the situation. I think Mudryk's a good player. He needs a run of games, and if you're not going to play him, you need to send him on loan where he can go and play regularly and develop. Because right now, how he's being used is not helping him. Where's tough guy James? We need some mustard. Petrovic, Disasi, Silva. Let's have a quick look. I think it'll be 5-4-1 versus Villa. We will waste Mudryk in this formation. I think if he went to Arsenal, it would have been much better. Maybe, who knows? But look, let's just hypothesize a quick, what would be a good system? Like, what would it? I mean, this is not what I'd play against Villa, by the way. We're just purely doing something. I think on form, you'd go with this. Silva, and then you'd go Colwell. With the players we've got available, right? This, I think, for I don't want to say rest of the season, but certainly for the next few games, this is what we should be doing. That's what we should be doing for the next few games. If we switch to a 3-4-3, that's the system that we should be going with. Of course, you can switch in Nkunku and Jackson, and you can put Chukwuemeka in that position there. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the same. What is a Lavia? Who is Lavia? Is he real? Do you know what I mean? You start getting these questions. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? It is going to be an interesting one. I don't know what the answers are. But yeah, that's what I would go with. Mudryk doesn't start over Martinez or Trossard at Arsenal. I don't know. It would have been interesting to see how he would have been used at Arsenal, because Arsenal were desperate to get him. It'd be very interesting to see how he would have been used. I don't know how he would have been used. I don't think so. But I think what is clear is that a number of the players that we've signed over the last two windows will be sold this summer. I think a few of them will be, and we won't get anywhere. And we'll make a loss on them. That's the reality. We will make a loss on these guys, whether we like it or not. We'll make a loss on a few of these players. Absolutely. I like Lavia. I think he performs to a good level. Yes, he still is, relatively unproven, as it were. But yeah, I think he's a good player, and I think he will make a difference to this team. But unfortunately, I don't know when we're going to see him play again. But he just wanted to bully his way into the transfer market when he turned up with the Mudryk by Caicedo, Enzo. Yeah, put Carney on the left and then Kunku striker. Yep, that's certainly another option as well. Why don't we just play a low block and hit on the counter? It would help restore some confidence in the players again. Maybe. Look, I like that. All right. I'm not saying it's going to win us games. No, maybe not. But it's certainly going to make us defensively better and more solid and give us a better foundation. And maybe it will be better for the midfield pivot as well. So I'd like to see that going forward. But whether we see that or not, I don't know. Palmer could also be like 10 and Jackson and Kunku could be the strikers. Yep, you could go 3-4-1-2. Certainly. I am unable to understand how Emery is doing great with the same squad, which was fighting for relegation last season, because they added some good players and they already had the good players there, an experienced core. That's why. That's why. Well, he's hinted at it, and I think he needs to. I don't know whether it will be as soon as this Villa game, but for me, it absolutely needs to be. It must be. It must be as soon as possible. But that is exactly what I would go with. That is exactly what I would go with. You know. And that is exactly what I would go with. But I'm not confident that we'll see that. I'm not confident we'll see the 3-4-3. That is the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation. I'm not sure we'll see it. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm really unsure. Really unsure, guys. But yeah, let's wait and see. Don't think there's much in it. The Sassy, in fairness, has been good this season. We haven't seen Chalobah play any football any football this season at all. So we don't know how good he's right now. But I think when they're both playing at their best, there probably isn't that much between them. We could do 10 at the back. Yeah, true, we could. No, but maybe he will this time. Sterling was booed when he came off, rightfully so. He absolutely is taking the piss. There's no denying it. Well, responsible for the losses is going to fall on the manager, but the reason we're in the mess comes from the ownership and the decisions that they've made. That's the reality. I just don't know. If we start next, see, that's a big if. Again, we've not been charged of anything, so there's no point thinking about that. There's absolutely no point thinking about that. As long as Poch plays Caicedo on an island, we'll keep going. Yep, Caicedo just keeps playing on his ones in midfield. It's mad. Why drop Sterling for who? Oh, Sterling's shit. We go with this in Kunku, Palmer, Jackson. Because Gerrard is poor man's Lampard. Yep. Why does Caicedo play like he's stuck in the mud? Yeah, Caicedo needs to improve. He had a good game, and then after the assist, it was horror from him. It was horror. Yep, I agree. I think we will swap formation even just for one game. Yeah, we need to swap formation. Simple as that. There's so much stuff coming in, guys. I can't get to all this. We've not not getting into spreading false information. Yeah, we might be in trouble, but we've not been charged of anything at all. So until that happens, then there's nothing to really address. Yes, big up to Dallas Knight, who has become a new member of the channel. Appreciate that a lot, guys. If you want to become a channel member, hit the link in the description. $1.99 a month to support myself and the channel. The more members we get, we'll start doing member-only shows and things like that. So if you want to become a member, guys, hit the link in the description. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Sterling gets booed, but what about Chilwell? Sterling gets booed because one, he's shit, and two, he's the highest paid player at the club and just doesn't give a fuck. That's why. And he keeps getting picks no matter how bad he plays when there are other options to choose from. That's the biggest issue for me. Chelsea cannot sack Pochettino as they cannot afford to. Maybe not. I don't know for sure. Sterling's not our best attacker. Cole Palmer is much better than Sterling. Well, I'll be fuming, but there's nothing that I'll be able to do about it. There'll be nothing I'll be able to do about it. Guys, we're 6 likes away from 150. There's 131 still in the building. So please keep smashing that like button, guys. Let's get there, and please keep hitting the subscribe button as well. What else have we got? Chilwell's a Champions League winner. Yeah, no, he is. He's having a bit of a difficult time at the moment, but you know, he is good. And a switch to a back three will be much better for him as well. 100% it will be better for him, a switch to a back three. Yeah, well, he'll still get a medal, I think, because he's played in enough games. But yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's not an agenda against him. It's just not good enough. It's as simple as that. He just isn't good enough. Not doing enough. It feels like he's just come here to retire, pick up his money, and just go through the motions. And that's what you get from his what you get from his performances on the pitch. That's what I'm seeing, and it's not good enough. Not good enough, and not acceptable. And that's why I'm calling it out. If you couldn't bring impact of this idiot club owners, I don't understand that. I don't understand what that means. Looking at all this shows we are lost for answers and angry fans. It's low. Yeah, it is. It's a low. It's low. Yeah, right now he is, and you'd expect him to be, because one's 27, 28 and, you know, established, and the other one's 23 and hardly played 100 senior games of football. So, Sterling right now is better than Mudryk, but he's awful. But yeah, that's what I'll go with, guys, if we switch to the back three, which I think we should switch to the back three. That would just be an example. Again, Chukwuemeka could play where Nkunku plays, and Nkunku could replace Jackson. Like, you've got options there. You've got options, and I think it could work. It could work pretty well for us. There's no denying it. But I mean, look, you look ahead to Wednesday, which obviously I'll do in more detail tomorrow night. But you know, it's lose-lose. You know, we win the game, and you know, if we get past Villa, then it's only 4 wins away from the Europa League. Then if we lose on Wednesday, then realistically, he probably has to go. Like, I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's going to be a situation that we could well find ourselves. And if we go 1-0 down, the reaction could be very, very bad. Very, very bad. But I think the biggest thing for me, right, is that with all the issues facing the club, one answer covers everything. Culture. The culture at the club is broken, and it needs to be repaired. It has to be repaired. You know, it has to be repaired. And elite environments have a culture of sacrifice. You know, you sacrifice for your fellow players, you sacrifice for your coaches. Let me actually bring this thread up on the screen, because from Expected Chelsea, it is a excellent thread. No, so we don't need to go for that bit. Elite cultures, we've done that. When Pep took over at Barca, he imposed 3 non-negotiable behaviours: humility, hard work, and most crucially, putting the team above self-interest. But hey, we are 10th in the table, and our manager is playing 2015 football. Because without the right culture, no amount of tactics will save us, not even Pep. Poch has been poor tactically, but issues go beyond him. The right people lead to right processes. The right processes lead to right performance. People, process, performance. We are broken at the people stage. Without fixing that, we can't run a good process and get good performance. Agree. Most of our players have been at the club for less than 2 years and have no playing connection to the club. This is mostly normal, by the way. These connections are built over time. What is not normal is for them to have no one to tell them what the standards are. When thinking about culture, 2 games in 18-19 come to mind, both versus City, a PL game in late 2018 and the cup final. In those games, our players disregarded managerial instructions and let a culture-driven survival instinct take over. Result, 2 top performances. What is our go-to survival instincts now? Do we even have one? The instinct I referred to was forged in the 90s, was passed on to Lampard and Terry, and eventually landed with Kante, Hazard, Aspie, and David Luiz. It continued for a bit longer, but now the chain has been broken. It brings me to an often overlooked point. Our club has a culture of selfishness, not just on the field, but off the field. If you can read between the lines too, sacrifice has now been replaced by self-preservation. Our plethora of new arrivals have seen loyal, long-serving players and staff binned at a moment's notice. Not just that, it has been done with a total lack of integrity and honesty too. It was very obviously led to a feeling of, might I be next in the dressing room? This am I next mentality has led to individual players showing their individual survival instincts at the expense of the collective. Start keenly observing behind the scenes videos and articles. You'll just see a bunch of people trying to make sure they're safe. On the pitch, how does this manifest? As players not running for their teammates, as players not busting a gut to get into the box, as players not tracking back, as players sticking purely to their job description. I'll do what I have to survive. You take care of yourself. Most crucially, it involves a silo mentality. Attackers think they are only responsible for goals, defenders only for stopping goals, and so on. It leads to a I will preserve my energy so that I can look good in my main task mentality. If players don't go above and beyond, what are they supposed to do? The team will not succeed. Our best players across two different areas were always elite at their jobs, but also others. Kante was famously two midfielders in one. Lampard could score 1 minute and defend in his box the next, and so on. All of this stems from a culture of sacrifice. To summarise our first problem, Jesus is long in it. There is a lack of collective culture in the first team, and a constant upheaval and mistreatment of long-serving players/staff means it's extremely hard to build one. Agree. In a rather paradoxical way, the issue is compounded by the long-term contracts too. While there is a lack of stability ruining culture formation, the 8-year contracts mean players will always outlast managers. It leads to a clear inversion in power dynamics. The manager needs to have complete command over the dressing room. This is non-negotiable in every sport and every era. He doesn't in our case. Every problem is likely met with a shrug from the players, like thinking, what is he going to do? Sell me, good luck. And this is where we realize this isn't the manager's fault or the players. They are simply reacting to the power they have and the environment that has been created. Who created the environment? The executives. Bloody hell, this must have taken this guy ages. When I look back at the decisions made by our executives in the last 2 years and the way they did it, I'm partly filled with sadness and partly unbridled rage. They've ripped apart the club and torn it to shreds. As you know, we have 4 transfer authorities: Winstanley, Stewart, Joe Shields and Carl McCauley. In early August, we had to sign a new goalkeeper. What did we do? We bypassed all 4 and went with the opinion of James Russell, our goalkeeping coach. That, to me, is an indication of bad process. We have 4 people coordinating a scouting and /analysis group of dozens, and in the end, we decided to spend an obscene fee on Brighton's third-choice goalkeeper solely because our goalkeeper coach liked him, on a 7-year contract too. Palmer is arguably the ownership's only successful signing, and while the outcome was good, his signing was the result of a bad process. We signed him only because we botched our plan A, Elise, so badly that Crystal Palace threatened to sue us. Elise has played just 90 minutes and it's February now. What would have happened had we signed him? Would we be even worse somehow? Like I said, bad process. The issue of self-preservation applies to executive level as much as it does in the dressing room. It is much easier to take credit for signing a player than promoting a player. In layman's terms, at the end of the day, each director wants an Athletic article praising their eye. Every director wants to take credit for the signings, and this means our squad is filled with random players. I signed Caicedo, I discovered Lavia, I unearthed Washington. This leads to a club filled with players who don't have chemistry and an erosion of culture. Every director wants to be known as the guy who made Chelsea's signings fortunes change with one transfer. We spent $1 billion on not midfielders, just plain mid. We spent Range Rover money on Nissan Altimas. All in pursuit of what? I don't know. This is a giant fucking mess. I don't mean to single them out, but what was the point of Ugochukwu? Was David Washington an unmissable talent? Why did you spend 35 million on Andre Santos and Casadei if you knew you were going to sign top money midfielders? And what development plans do you have for the kids? The cynic in me thinks that the directors are taking the owners and by extension the club for a ride. They have unlimited money to make any signings they want. If they all flop, they can point to the club's culture as an excuse. If even a few hit, they can take credit and get another job. For them, this is a no-lose situation. They get paid big money to run their mad experiments in real time and can get away preserving their reputation regardless of what happens. If Washington, Ugochukwu or some other no-name signing takes off, credit is theirs. This is, of course, the most cynical view, but can't be ruled out. Jesus, how many... Fuck me, this is long, isn't it? Wow. Should I keep going? Shall I keep going, guys? There's a lot to... what else have we got? Joe Cole's a boss. Yep. Oh, guys, there's so many things going on here. What else is coming in? No, I appreciate it. I don't know if I am, but I appreciate that. Nothing will ever change. Joe Cole was class. Yeah, absolutely. I will go through it. It is an incredible thread. Yes, big up, big up. This dude expected Chelsea usually simps for the owners. Good to see, but too little, too late. Maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, cheers. I've started this, so I'm going to finish it. Where did we get to? Yeah, so owners are at the top of this and deserve the most blame. Of course, they collected mid-table executives like Infinity Stones, empowered them to the club's detriment, and are acting shocked that we are bad. This was inevitable. They hit a jackpot in buying a top 4 Premier League club, a top European club for a cheap fee. Clubs like 2021 Chelsea rarely, if ever, are available. They have badly bungled this. I don't even think you can call us Chelsea at present. We're Blue Co London. In the span of 2 years, we imported Brighton's director, recruitment head, goalkeeping coach, head coach, backroom staff, goalkeeper, left back, and defensive midfielder. Inevitably, we have also imported Brighton's league position. Their intentions were good to have a low cost, high performing team that can routinely be refreshed and have a conveyor belt of talents. It is the footballing ideal. However, they have given the keys to the wrong people. A potential utopia has turned dystopian. Instead of becoming Liverpool, we've become Brighton due to the wrong executive hires, an experiment gone wrong. Steps 1, 2, and 3 when buying a new club. Make footballing hires from clubs that are at a level you aspire to be at. If you aspire to be and beat United, you hire Peter Kenyon, like we did in 2004. If you aspire to be and beat Barcelona, you hire Tiki and Ferran Soriano. If you aspire to be and beat Brighton, you sign their director. It is still not too late to change course and we can salvage this mess, but it won't be easy. Firstly, we have to take some bad losses on players. We have some players we can never develop, and we have to help slowly sell them off, even at a loss. We have a lot of purgatory signings, the one type you want to avoid at all costs. These players are too bad to help you win now and are too much of a financial burden to be solved. How many fit this description? Think about it. Fucking loads of them. We have to start phasing out purgatory signings as soon as possible, sell half, loan the other half, repeat the process until there are none left. The financial hit will be brutal, but we have to take it. The financial hit of playing them and losing will be worse. Consider this a 2-year, £1 billion exercise of what not to do while building a squad. That's the best we can do. The longer we refuse to think about a total upheaval, the more we will suffer. I know I spoke about the constant signings being a detriment, but we have to go back. That's the only way we can fix this. We can't teach Mudryk basic skills given the size of our club. Hopefully a lower pressure club can. Now, imagine this was almost every player in the senior squad. That's where we're at now. As for signings, the easy instinct is to think about signing title-winning players or guys who can get here in the future. The former types are not available and won't think about Chelsea now. The latter is a no-go. Forget about competing with City, Arsenal, Liverpool. We are 10th in the table. Our immediate aim must be to become a top 4-6 club again. Sign accordingly. Sign reliable players who will stabilize us in and around the top 6. We've been chasing a flight in the sky and tripping over rocks on the ground. Don't repeat this mistake. We are a 50 to 60 point team. We should first look to become a 70 point team, then an 80 point team, one step at a time. Forget signing some Bolivian 13-year-old who might become Messi one day. Start signing players who will help you finish top 6 today. I'm giving you an example in terms of level and time in the league. Nothing more. Ivan Toney. He's at his peak, plays with an edge, is aware of the Premier League and will give you 15 to 20 goals. That's the type we should be chasing until we're top 4 level. It's just an example. There are a myriad of other factors. What's more important is the profile. You know, I made a mistake of thinking we can shoot for the stars a few months ago. We can't. We're not above most players. Don't make this mistake. It's also important that our players are aware of what is the Chelsea way. Our current team isn't. Agreed. It's difficult to develop culture when there's no seed. Tuchel, a coach with a very specific way of playing football, leaned into our culture. Great. Antonio Conte, another example. You need to understand where you are to get the best out of your people. You must lean into the championship too. Its quality is much better than most people realise, and there's phenomenal tactical diversity to go with its intensity. After Liga, it's perhaps the safest non-PL league to be signing from. Sure, the championship might not give you a Haaland or De Bruyne, but we're not eating at that table yet. For a top 4-6 push, it's a great league to sign from. What happens if we must take a step up eventually? We'll worry about it then, one step at a time. Wow, this is long, isn't it? Jesus Christ. How long has this taken to write? Yeah, there's a lot there, isn't there? There's a lot there. I had a bit of a reading break. Um, well, yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's mad, but it is true. Like I've never felt of it in that detail. Um, yeah, I will finish it in a sec. I will finish it, guys. Yeah, keep smashing the likes. Let's try and get this to 200 likes if we can. 160 at the moment. Relinquish 8 goals in 2 matches is exactly what I said months ago. You need to pause and pivot the project. Yep, but I just don't think that's going to happen though. Who do you think will be sold? I've got no idea. Yeah, I can certainly try and get Harry back on again, or we'll try and do something on Chelsea Fan TV. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens on that. But yeah, for sure, I'm going to finish this thread because I've started it now, and we're going to finish it. Where did we get to? Yeah. Financially, we're going to be in trouble. Sooner you make peace with it, the better. Our commercial numbers are bad. We will take financial hits if we remodel our team, and we might be hit by rules. If we get a point deduction, it is a fair consequence for our recent nonsense. If we get a points deduction, we will deserve it. It is what it is. Like Juve proved last year and Everton now, it is not the end of the world. Not ideal, but we must face the consequences of our actions. Hopefully, it also teaches us to lean into our greatest strength more. I said this 2 years ago. Our academy is our ticket to the top. I hope you realise after spending £1 billion, mostly on duds who are not better than we have. If you don't, I hope you find a good therapist. As an example, I'm less concerned about what Eddie Howe thinks of Lewis Hall than what I saw of the player last year. He was terrific for us and deserved better than being pure profit so that we could sign David, Washington, Ugochukwu and Angelo. Performances at Chelsea are more important than performances elsewhere. Cultural fit goes both ways. As an example, Tammy Abraham might not score 15 non-penalty PL goals elsewhere, but he did so here because the club and player were a great match. Do not underestimate that effect. It goes both ways. Clubs and players elevate each other if the fit is right. An external signing may or may not be the right cultural fit for us, and you won't know until you take a big gamble with money. But an internal player will be the right fit, as seen by a decade-long association starting from academy level. We've signed players based on performances elsewhere, only to see them flop here. At the same time, we have repeatedly ostracised players who have performed here to chase pipe dreams. I hope every single Chelsea fan has learnt the lessons. Don't take what you have for granted. Not every academy player can make it, but not every signing will succeed also. The percent chances of an academy player succeeding are more than a signing succeeding if both are given the same number of chances. That much is clear. Our last 3 top 4 finishes came with a bedrock of Mount, Reece James and Christensen, with Tammy, Trev, Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi, Tamori and others chipping in. I don't think Mudryk, Madueke and co are at the same level, nor do they provide the same level of cultural fit. Stick to what works. We kept saying Tammy, Tamori, Christensen are not league-winning players, only to see external league-winning signings flop violently here. At this point, we don't even need league-winning players. We need players who can stabilise us in the top 4 and cultural fits. Don't forget that. As for managerial hires, our failures happen due to ignorant current tactical trends. The highest echelons of the sport are filled with teams with extremely rigid positional play with some clear trends permeating across leagues. I'm not going to bore you with tactical theory, but we must align with current trends. Reliable build-up and counter-pressing are 2 musts in every manager we look for. We will never be Barcelona or City, but Tuchel or Conte's Chelsea implemented the cutting-edge principles of their times in a Chelsea context. That's the blueprint. Again, this is another discussion that deserves its own thread. As for directors, I've lost confidence. I did so in the summer when we grossly overpaid in nearly every deal while ignoring some obvious needs. At the earliest, I suggest hiring a figurehead who will be a singular voice of authority. Most importantly, the figurehead needs to be aligned with the head coach. No more 4 voices pulling in 4 directions or a conflict of interest in every signing we make. We need to make sure we decide on one idea and follow it with conviction. A good director, not just one who spots talent. They need to be able to negotiate, to be able to create a winning environment and to implement a coherent vision. If we must promote internally rather than make a flashy hire, so be it. As Spurs have shown recently, it is possible to bounce back and slowly develop over a summer, but the hires and signings need to be correct. We can't be Spurs, we can't be Arsenal, we can't be City, but we can learn from their rebuilds and be our own selves. This was a long read, but it was necessary to get all my thoughts out. We are not in an easy position. The way out is complex, but we can do it. It's going to take some difficult decisions, but revolutions are built on doing things others won't dare think of. Yeah, it's pretty much spot on. Pretty much spot on. Everything he was saying there. Everything he was saying there is spot on. Yes, big up to the Dallas Knight. Big up, brother. Get the board and Pochettino on your stream. Yeah, mate. Unfortunately, that is probably not going to happen because I doubt they would come on to a platform like this. I don't think they would. Does Zerbi wants to go and pay Brighton some more money? Yeah, maybe. It's all true. It's all true that the Zerbi has just to become more like Brighton. Yeah, well, exactly. Yes. Big up. Yeah, let's just have a quick look. I've been going for a while. What else have we got going on? Just very quickly before I round out. Let's have a little look. What's happening? I don't know what else there is. Let's see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. Again, I don't know. But yeah, no, it is obviously it is a problem. No denying it. I think realistically, if we want to get ourselves out of this mess, we have to start again. And that might sound shit. It's fixable. It's a long fix. We're gonna have to take some financial pain. We're gonna have to take some heavy losses on players. But ultimately, we need to start again. We need to recreate the culture. We need players that align with the club culture. Like we're gonna have to start again. But I just don't have the trust or the faith in these directors or this ownership to go and start again. So I don't know what direction we're going in right now. I don't know what direction we're going in. Yes, big up. We need some clarity on the current situation of the club. The owners need to hold a press conference. Yeah, some more open communication from the owners on what's going on would be great. It would be great. But yeah, guys, been going just short of an hour and a half. I'm going to round this one out. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Big numbers tonight to kick the week off. Greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow evening with Aston Villa preview for the FA Cup and any more news that comes out. Plus, there'll also be an opposition preview with Luke from Up the Villa podcast. That will be dropping on the channel as well tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned for those 2 bits of content. As always, guys, big up for your support. Thanks for everyone in the chat today getting involved. Thanks for people that have donated. It's greatly appreciated. Please do smash the likes on the way out. Let's try and get this as close to 200 likes as we can on our way out, guys. Big up to everyone that has tuned in tonight. Love to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll be back tomorrow. Up the Chels. Peace out, people. Love for the support and catch you guys tomorrow.